Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I hope you are settled, and then from there on we're going to start with perspective drawings today. Now with perspective drawings we haven't done much of one-point perspective. You do get a one-point perspective. I'm not going to explain one-point perspective now. I'm going to explain two-point perspective, simply because of the fact that from now onwards most and basically all your question papers will be in two-point perspective. One-point perspective is just to understand the concept. Alright, so with two-point perspective means that it's like the word perspective tells you, standing on the road and you've got the width of the road from left to right, and as you look down the road you will see it's in some sort of way disappearing to the horizon, right? And that's pretty much the same as what we will have with two-point perspective drawings. That is when a view will be disappearing towards two vanishing points. In other words, I'm going to position myself in such a way that the one end of the house looks smaller as you go from this side, and the other end of the house will also look smaller as you go from there onwards. So the end walls will be much smaller than what the front wall will be as you will look at it. Alright, now with two-point perspective drawings there are a few principles that are important. Now of course many teachers disagree, but it's basically the two principles, and if you understand the two principles and how to solve the two principles, you will be able to solve any of the two-point perspective drawings that will be coming your way. Now if you take a look at the drawings itself, the slides itself, the two-point perspective is used to illustrate a rotated object to an angle, to the picture plane itself. There's also it uses the center points and vanishing points as to find the points itself, and then also that's where to the drawing seems to be ending up. You also get three-point perspective drawings, so you get 1-point, 2-point and 3-point perspective, but that's not for this level. So we're going to focus predominantly on two-point perspective drawings. The question will be basically at all times the same, the wording of the question, but of course the object can change drastically. Now the first part of it says you have to make use of the picture plane. The PP stands for picture plane, the HL stands for horizontal line or horizon line, and the GL stands for ground line. That's where your object is standing on. Then you've got an SP. The SP stands for standpoint. This is what the examiner will indicate to you. Right, and you have to use all of this in order to determine your two-point perspective drawing. Now I've used in this exercise itself, I've used a simple drawing which is just a block, just to explain the principles of what you have to understand in terms of that. Once you understand the principle, obviously the rest of it will roll out very easily. Right, now the first step that you will have is to determine from the standpoint the left and the right vanishing points. Now you will use your drawing in the top view, this view over here, in order to determine the angle of which you have to work with. Now this you will see if you take your set square, this is 60 degrees and this is 30 degrees. So in other words, from out the standpoint, parallel to the side of your drawing, sometimes this will be 30 degrees, sometimes that side will be 60 degrees, but in this case 60 degrees. From this point you will be drawing outwards to the left, parallel to that side, which is 30 degrees, so you're going to use your 30 degree set square. And you're going to drop this line, in this case you drop the line downwards to the horizontal line, so that will give you the left vanishing point. If this horizontal line was placed on top, obviously we'll go from there parallel to the side of the top view towards that point, and then you will go upwards to find the horizontal line over there. In this case it goes downwards. Alright, so this horizontal line can differ. It can be lower than the ground line, it can be higher up, so that is all different areas, different places where it can be. Right, so of course this is the left vanishing point. We need to find the right vanishing point somewhere. How to find the right vanishing point is basically also from out this point, it goes parallel to the side of the view, so which is 60 degrees in this case. In this case the horizontal line is also like in the left vanishing point, lower down, so I will go from there downwards. So once I've got it there, I will go find the right vanishing point at that specific point. You have to write down right vanishing point, you have to write down left vanishing point. The simple reason for that is you get your marks for that, and you have to indicate where that you find the right and the left vanishing points at this stage. Alright, so there we go with those lines. Remember, those are projection lines, so we're going to make it soft lines. Now we're going to determine the start point, because the drawing will start here somewhere and it will disappear to the left and disappear to the right. And how are we going to do that? simply because of the fact that the start point will give me the indication on this point. Now this is the one of two options that you will get. The first option will be when this top view is standing directly on the picture plane. The second one is when it's not standing on the picture plane, some distance away, either topwards or to the side or whatever the case might be. So the first option, this first principle I want to explain to you, is when it stands on the picture plane. If it stands on the picture plane, I can simply just drop that line straight downwards and find the height of my view, of my drawing. I can find the height of this one over here. Now that is the corner, that's that corner that will disappear to the right and disappear to the left. Now of course you can understand, if it has to disappear, I have to draw the lines outwards to where it's disappearing to the right vanishing point, and it's vanishing or disappearing towards the left, which will give me the left vanishing point. Right, so that will now, in other words, form the base of where it starts turning and disappearing outwards. But now it can't just carry on and carry on and carry on, it has to stop somewhere. And where do I find the stop point? That is now where I take this end point, because that's the end of the drawing. If I take that end point and I project that line downwards to the stand point, and I take this point and project it down to the stand point, I will get an intersection point on my picture plane. So in other words, that will give me the intersection point, and from that intersection point I drop the line straight vertical downwards. That's going to be the end point over here. On the right hand side, if I take that and draw it up to the stand point, that will give me this line, and it intersects with the picture plane at that specific point. It goes straight downwards 90 degrees, so that will be the end point to the right side. Alright, so this is not like clay or like something that you can just, like an elastic that can just extend. It has to stop somewhere, and this is the way you're going to get your stop points. Now of course you can imagine at the top it's pretty much the same. This will also disappear to the left, it will also disappear to the right. There we go, towards that point, and that's going to be the end point of this whole panel, this whole block over here. And if this is disappearing towards the right, it means that that will indicate to me the disappearing point towards the right. Now ladies and gentlemen, the second method of what I need to know, the second principle, is when this is not standing on the picture plane. In that case, that line is not standing on the picture plane. So I will have to extend it towards the side, drop it downwards until I get the height of the drawing, which is that point, and this point will disappear towards the left. You will see it will go through that point, it's going out there, and or I can go from this point, I can extend until it reaches the picture plane. There it reached the picture plane. From there it goes downwards until it reaches the height, which is that height over there, and that will disappear to the right. So therefore that line over there will also be going through this point, and where those lines, the first line and the second line, intersect with each other, that's going to be the end point of this drawing at the top. But now you've seen it goes through this point, so the shortcut of this will be in this case where you take that line, extend it towards the left, and you take this line and you extend it to the right, and that will give you the intersection point to end the block over there. So that's the easy way. I will explain this method of what I've explained to you just now, if it's not standing on the picture plane, with the next drawing in more detail. Alright, so in this case the easiest way and the shortest way, corner towards the vanishing point, corner towards the vanishing point at the intersection point, that's going to be the end point of this block. Alright, so this is when it stands on the picture plane. Right, let's take the next example for instance. Alright, so in this case it's basically, you can see the previous drawing, there's the block over there. There's the block over there, there's the block, the height of the block, and there's the block, the previous block, which was over there, and that was the size of the block. But now it has got a roof. Alright, so therefore that's the tip of the roof, that's the tip of the roof, and that's the tip of the roof, which is that red line over there. That line is not standing on the picture plane. I need to explain to you how do we get towards this. Now, where did we start on the previous one? From out the standpoint, parallel to the side, and parallel to the side I draw the line outwards until it reaches the picture plane. From the picture plane it goes upwards to the horizontal or downwards. In this case horizontal is lower, so it will go downwards towards that point. So there we go. It goes out there and downwards for the left vanishing point. That line is parallel to the construction line that I've used just now. From the standpoint, parallel to the side of the drawing, I will extend the line until it reaches the picture plane. From the picture plane it drops downwards in this case because the horizontal line is downwards, and then that will give me the right vanishing point. I'm not going to start there, I'm going to start on this plane. Why? Because that is standing on the picture plane, So if I drop this line downwards, the height of that will start in this point, at that point over there. So off we go. That's the start position of this drawing. This will disappear, like we said, to the right, and will disappear to the left. It can't just carry on and carry on. It has to stop at some stage. So therefore, where do we get the stop point? From that point, that's the end of this drawing. We'll go to the stand point, and if it intersects with the picture plane, I simply just drop the line downwards to get me the end point. This point is the end point of the drawing, so if I drop this down to the stand point, up to there, it will intersect with the picture plane. It goes downwards, so that's the total width of the drawing itself. Now that's the upper part. This upper part is also disappearing. It's also going that way. That is the end point, so it's not like elastic, so we're going to stop that line over there. So there we go with that part, exactly the same as the previous one. We are busy with this panel now, and now or this panel over here. Now we're going to do this part over here, but now just be careful, there's no solid line over here, so we're not going to draw a line from this point to here. We're just going to find the point where the roof will start and find this point where the roof will start. So this will also go to the right vanishing point, and if it's dropping down at that point, we're going to stop it there. Alright, so there's the roof now. We are there now. Right, so now we have to find the tip of the roof. It's somewhere over here. We can't really determine it. And like I said with the previous one, if it's not standing on the picture plane, I have to extend it until it reaches the picture plane. Right, so this line over here was extended until it reached the picture plane, and then dropped downwards up to where we'd find the height of it. And then from there it went downwards to the lower part of the height of that. Now the same with this one. If it extends downwards towards that point, it has to go downwards to find the height or the tip of the roof. So the height of the tip of the roof will be basically over there. Now from this point, it will disappear. It will vanish from, this will vanish from this point over here. From that point, it will vanish to the left vanishing point. So somewhere on that line, it's basically over here. Now if I take that, where do I start? That's the end point, that's the start point. The end point was from there. Stand point, intersect with the picture plane, go downwards. Same with this one. Stand point, it intersect with the picture plane at that point, it goes downwards. If it intersect with that line, that is basically, there we go, that's the start position of the roof. Again, it can't carry on and carry on, it stops somewhere. How do I find the stop point at this line over here? That point will go to the stand point, it intersect with the picture plane, and it reaches this line that goes from there, slanted onwards towards that point. So now this principle, it first runs horizontal, and then from there on it bends up to that vanishing point. So it's extended, going downwards until I reach the horizontal point of that. That's the height. From that height, it will bend. In other words, if I should carry on with this line, it will run parallel the whole time up to that point. It doesn't intersect with the left vanishing point. But now since I've got the intersection point, I bend this line upwards to the vanishing point. So that's where we go. Find the vanishing point. And the end point and start point will be stand point, picture plane downwards, stand point, picture plane downwards. That's where we get the end of the roof. Alright, so that is, in short, the two principles. It stands on the picture plane. It does not stand on the picture plane. I have to extend, find the horizontal line, and then from there go out. Alright, so there we go with that part over there. Now, if we can take a look at the horizontal line over here, that can differ from up to the top to the middle to the downwards on the bottom. Now we normally talk about a bird's eye view or a drone view, if you can see it that way, if this horizontal line is some distance high up into the area. Now I'm going to do the same principles the whole time, but now can you see this view over here is not standing on the picture plane. It stands some distance away, so I can't use this point, drop it downwards and say my view will start over here. I have to extend it, go downwards on it, find the height of it, go to the left vanishing point, and somewhere on that line I will be able to find that point. More of that just now. First of all, vanishing points, parallel to the side, left vanishing point to the picture plane, go downwards until you get the horizontal point. Right vanishing point, go downwards until you get the horizontal point, which is that one. Right vanishing point, left vanishing point. Now, where do I start? It does not start on the bottom, so I can't just drop the line down with the previous exercise. I have to extend until it reaches the picture plane. I have to go downwards until I reach the height of that, which is in this case there on the bottom, and then on that point I have to extend or vanish to the left vanishing point, and somewhere on that line there the drawing will be. So therefore extend going downwards, it's somewhere there. Where do I find the start point on that line? This point will go to the stand point, and where it intersects with the picture plane, it drops downwards. That's the start point of my drawing now. Alright, there's the back. How long does it go on? That line will go basically from there onto the stand point, it intersects with the picture plane, goes straight downwards. So my drawing will be on this line over here, somewhere there from end to start position in that point. Where do I find the right view or right vanishing point? This will disappear towards the right. It doesn't carry on for all the time. I have to stop it. How do I stop? This will go to the stand point, intersect with the picture plane, and it will drop downwards, and that will give me the front part of it. Alright, so let's go. There we go. It goes downwards, intersection with the picture plane, goes straight downwards, and for where it intersects with that line itself, that's going to be the end point. So the bottom of the tent, if you see it this way, or the A-frame or whatever, that is basically there. That's the bottom, and that's the bottom onto the side over here. So that's the bottom to the side over here. Now I have to get the roof, the top or the upper part of this tent, if you so call it. It's not standing on the picture plane. So the same principle apply. I will have to extend it till it reaches the picture plane. Once it reaches the picture plane, it drops straight downwards. So it reaches towards this point. From there it goes downwards until I reach the height of this part. Once it's at this part, it will vanish to the left vanishing point. Remember, I went out to the right, so therefore this will vanish to the left. Somewhere on that point, get the start point by going down to the stand point and downwards, and the end point. Right, so there we go. To go downwards, that's the height of it. From there to disappear to the left vanishing point. Where do I start? This will go to the stand point, and if it intersects with the picture plane, it goes downwards until I reach that line I've determined just now. The end point will be there. That will go from there down to the stand point. It goes straight down to the stand point, and then it intersects with the picture plane. It basically points out to me the end point, which is that point over there. And that's the second principle being applied the whole time over here till I have got the endpoints. Now, of course, this point I could have also extend there. I could have also went all the way downwards and also go all the way to the left vanishing point somewhere there, and I can take this to the stand point and go downwards. But if I take this line and extend it outwards, it's going to be on the exact stand point over there. No hidden detail required. Keep it as it is over there. Alright, now we have got a human eye height. You can see now this is about 1.5, 1.8 meters high. So that's the horizontal line now. Again, the principle apply of not standing on the picture plane. So I have to determine where do I start from the start point, parallel to the size of the drawing. Go downwards until it reaches the horizontal. It's left vanishing point, it's the right vanishing point. Where do I start? Not standing, so I have to extend this line, go downwards and go to the left vanishing point. Take this to the stand point. If it intersects with the picture plane, it drops downwards, and I will find this point at that point. There's my drawing start position. Alright, so from that point I have to go from there to the left and to the right, so therefore it will extend it up to there only, because it's not carrying on and carrying on, it stops at that point. And if I go to the right vanishing point is over here, so that line over there will be extended. There we go with the extended line. It goes from there downwards to the stand point, intersect with the picture plane, goes downwards, and that's the end point over there. So this is the base. Now for the roof, I have to extend the roof. It goes downwards until I get the horizontal height of it. This will disappear to the left vanishing point and gives me the point where somewhere the roof will be. So if I take that and I project it downwards, it intersects with the picture plane to find me that point. The end point will be from there down to the stand point, intersect with the picture plane at that point, and it drops downwards on that line of the roof height, and that's going to be the end point of it. So that's what we will have in this regard. Right, so there we go with the house with human eye height. Now this one is a worm's eye. You can see the worm is here right on the bottom, so the horizontal line is even lower than the ground line, and I have to determine this view over here. Principle applied. It's not standing on the picture plane. I have to find it. How do I get the vanishing points? From out the stand point to the left, drop it down to get the left vanishing point, drop it down to get the right vanishing point. From this point, it's not standing on the picture plane. I have to extend it, drop it down until I reach the height, and then that will go to the left vanishing point. Right, now somewhere on this point there's the line. the drawing will start. So it starts on here where it goes to the standpoint, intersect with the picture plane. That's the start position. End position starts from there to the standpoint, intersect with the picture plane, goes up to there. That's the side of the tent. The other side of the tent will disappear to the right vanishing point, so that will disappear towards here. So therefore that's where it's going to go from there downwards. You can see it's dropping downwards over there, and that will be going straight to the standpoint, intersect with the picture plane, goes downwards. There we go with that part. Bottom part, remember with the very first example, if you join that corner over there, if you join the corner with the left vanishing point from there to there, and you take that corner to the right vanishing point, the intersection will give you the bottom part of this tent, or whatever you see it is. So there's the bottom part. I look underneath it. It's lower than the ground level, so I look at it from underneath the ground itself. Right, then this part extended. It's not standing on the picture plane, so it has to be extended, go downwards. That's the height. This will disappear to the left vanishing point, somewhere on that line. From there, it goes to the standpoint, intersect with the picture plane. That's the first position. The furthest position is that one. It goes to the standpoint, intersect with the picture plane at that point, and then from there on, that's my tent seen from underneath, lower than ground level. That's what I will see over here. All right, so that's basically that. Now we're dealing with depth. In other words, how it stands deeper. You can see over here the roof of this house is extending to the side, so therefore I can say fine, I can go downwards there, I can go find the height over there. The roof will start at that point because it stands on the picture plane, but the rest of the walls does not start on the picture plane. It's not standing on the picture plane, so I have to extend these lines either to the left or to the right and find the heights of the house house walls, and then find those points over here. Right, now the first step, left and right vanishing point. Horizontal line is up in the air, so we find it over there. We can either start with the roof or the walls. In this case, we start with the walls. It's not standing on the picture plane. Extend, go downwards. There's the bottom of it, so therefore the bottom will disappear to the right, and then this will go to the standpoint, and on its way to the standpoint, it goes straight downwards when it intersects with the picture plane, and I find the first point over there. There's the second point, and there's the second point over there. So if I extend these lines to the left and to the right, I will get the endpoints of the roof itself. So it runs all the way up to there, so therefore the house will stop at that point. Towards the left, that point goes to the standpoint, it intersects with the picture plane, and that gives me the endpoint of the wall on the left hand side. Alright, so this will also go upwards, but now let's first do the roof. So there we go with the roof. That's the start position of the roof. Remember, it stands on the picture plane, so I can just straight horizontal go to find that point. That of course disappear to the right, disappear to the left. Just be careful, there's no solid line from endpoint to endpoint there, so we have to just determine that point and determine this point and join those 2 points with each other. Right, let's go to the right. The roof will end up to that point by means of the principal. The roof will end to the left towards that point. That's the principal. I'm not going to draw the line because there's no solid line over here. This line over here is the line that you see from left to right of the roof itself. So this is the bottom part of the roof where the gutters should be. Alright, now if I have to do the top of the roof, I think that's the next step. Yes, the top of the roof is going to the picture plane. It goes downwards till I reach the height. Remember, you don't need to draw the line all the way over from this side to there, because the height is also there, so I could have used that short little distance over there as well. This will disappear to the right, so somewhere on that line is my roof. Where do I find it? Picture plane downwards, find it over there. This point over here, where do I end with the roof? Standpoint, intersect with the picture plane. Sorry, there we go. Standpoint, intersect with the picture plane, and find it on that line over there. Alright, so there we go with the roof, and like I said, there's no solid line in between here. I need to find out where exactly is that stop or end point of this wall. Now that's the end point of the wall. I can extend the line going downwards, find the height of it there, and then from there on disappear to the right, and somewhere on that line, and where those two lines intersect with that end of the wall over there, that's going to be the point. So we can do it, or we can also extend it towards the front part, towards this part, going downwards, get the height of it, which is that point, disappear. In this case I went to the right, disappear to the left, somewhere on that line, I can simply drop off that line and find the intersection point. So there we go, downwards, find the height of it, and then from there on it's disappearing towards the left, and where it intersects with that line, that's going to be the end point of it. Alright, now the roof will make a parallel line over here towards the tip over here. There is the tip at that point. I've already determined the tip, which is somewhere on that line. So if I take that down to the standpoint, intersect, I will find the tip over there, and I can draw the line of which will be visible towards there. Of course that part will be invisible, but no invisible areas as asked. And then the back of the gutter, the end part of the roof at that stage, will also disappear to the vanishing point, and it will only be visible for that short remaining part over there. So we can say it's only for that short period of there, and then this point will be from that point. So I will use that as a standpoint going downwards there and find that part that will be visible. Now of course in this house I've got doors, a door, and I've got a window over there, or maybe two doors, garage doors that you see over here, because it's extending right to the floor, and that is basically the height of it can be used from that point over there. And that's the same principle. I'm not going to bore you with that principle over there. It's the same principle, it's somewhere on that line, so therefore if it extends up to there, that will go to the standpoint, get the start, get the end, get the start, get the end position of the walls itself. This will disappear towards the left vanishing point. So if I have to show the depth of this little garage door over here, I have to use that point in extending it to the left to give me that point. And of course this will also give me that point over there. So if I take that down to the standpoint, it will give me the short little line over there. Remember, this is the threshold. Deeper in, there's no extra line at that specific point over there. Alright, and that's the house itself. So the interior is, that wall will be a short period of visibility in there. So that's where we get the interior line, and it goes from there towards that point. Same principle, extend until I reach the bottom, the height of it. That will disappear to the left somewhere on that. It's basically from corner to corner, so it will be just a portion that will be visible through that part over there. Alright, last portion I'd like to explain to you is of course the exam papers that you might get. Now if you should take a look at this, there's a simple example over here. Can you see it stands over here? It's pretty much the same as what I've explained to you just now. Your answer was basically this part over here. You can also see the windows, you can also see that part over there. So the same principle apply, where those lines need to be extended and extended to enable you to find these starting positions. Remember, we went zigzag from there, so therefore we cut it off, and then we will work from out the right vanishing point to find the line from there further onwards. So it's not always necessary to find that line over there before you go from there to find the point of position where it starts over there. You can also use the zigzag method, where you go from out the vanishing point towards this position and cut it off where this will goes to the standpoint, and from there downwards and to cut it off over there. So there's different methods in finding those points over there. The next example is this one I'd like to explain to you. There you can see this is like a church with a cross as a window and the two windows on either side, and then this part over here is what you will have in your church as this building is when it's ended. There's different ways in doing that. Just remember that this height and that height is on different heights, so therefore you can extend it towards that height to find the upper roof, and you can extend this line towards the bottom line over there to find the bottom window, roof over there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your attendance. I hope this helped you a lot. I trust that it will help you in determining the 2-point perspective drawings, and that you will have no trouble in answering the questions that comes your way. Thank you very much for listening. Have a nice day.